Lord. Not only did he see the great deliverance, he made a divine decision, and then Joshua voiced his choice. As for me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. You forsake him, we're going to serve him. He said, though none go with me, I still will follow. The cross before me, the world behind me. When that song was sang, there was a man that it was back in later years. The story from that song, there was a tribal man that had come out of a very, very evil tribe. And there was missionaries that had came to him, and he was converted to Jesus Christ. Him and his whole family, his wife and his 2 children. The missionaries had left. Long story short, the chief of that tribe had called him to the center of that village, called his whole family, and warned him. He said, I want you to renounce your faith. If not, I'm going to kill your children right here and right now. And he brought forth the archers. And he stood there and looked at him. He said, renounce him. He said, though none go with me, I still will follow. And he shot his children, and they fell down dead. Both of them. Murdered them right in front of them. He said, renounce your faith, or I'll kill your wife. Though none go with me, I still will follow. And he shot and killed her. The chief come up and got in his face. He said, I'm going to give you one more chance to save your life. The thought come to my mind, if you save your own life, you lose it. But if you lose it for Christ, you find it. And he looked at him and he said, the world behind me and the cross before me, though none go with me, I still will follow. And they killed him. He chose that day whom he would serve. Months later, the chief was converted to Jesus Christ because of the faith of the man and his family. Oh, glory. What a powerful statement, though none go with me. He said, I still will follow. The cross before me and the world behind me. Though none go with me, I still will follow. You'll lose friends. You'll even lose some family. You'll lose some clout at work, but you're going to gain everything in heaven. And it's well worth it, ain't it? I don't know about you. I don't know about you. But what's wrong with reminding the world and the devil that I choose the Lord? The world's behind me and the cross is before me. I say so to know anything other than Jesus Christ and him crucified. I feel the least among my brethren, and I want to follow in the footsteps of God's apostles and his disciples, and I want to live by their example and what they set before us and showed us to live. I want to do my best for him because I have a reward in heaven. You say, what's it like? It's out of this world. That's all I know. No pain and no sorrow, no more sad goodbyes, but all is peace forevermore on happy golden shores. What a day, glorious day that's going to be. And the people answered and said, God forbid that we should forsake the Lord to serve other gods. If you would stand with me. See, the Amorites had a God. And Joshua asked them, you going to serve the God of the Amorites? I looked up, one of their gods was called Morato, and Anu. He was referred to as a shepherd, son of the sky god Anu. And I thought he was referred to as a shepherd. But some of the amazing things about this Amorite God, he sure wasn't able to keep them from being taken over by the children of Israel. Every time the Amorites come against God and Israel, they lost. The last time I looked it up, the last time that the Amorites are even mentioned in Amos 2 and 10. And lore says that they basically were running to extinction. Wasn't a very good shepherd, was he? Oh, what a God they thought they served. But Brother David, he wasn't able to keep them. That shepherd that they thought would keep them. Deuteronomy 31:4, the Amorite king was defeated by Moses and the children of Israel. In Joshua 11:8, 5 Amorite kings were defeated by Israel. Last time spoken of in the book of Amos, and it's just like that God, anything that opposed God, he would run it into absolute extinction. There would be no other gods before him. God was absolute. And I thought, wow, of all the things that God was, he was a false shepherd. Somebody that they thought would lead them and keep them wasn't able to do that. But church, we have a shepherd. We have Jesus Christ. And he's coming back soon. He could come right now. Any minute. There's nothing that hindereth the Lord from returning. But I'm going to tell you what. If there's one thing that I would do right now. I had these boys lay out, there's some tape up here on these floors. I was sitting there at home and I drew out how this is laid out. You know, there's 4 ways to get to this altar up here. 4 ways. And God spoke to me, you know something? He said if those 4 ways were blocked off, he said I'd climb over a pew. If I was that concerned about my soul and my walk with God. There's nothing that hinders us other than these lines that the devil draws. It's easy to sit in our pew. And I don't ask you to come so I can say, boy, I had a lot of people at the altar. I ain't worried about that. I just want to see some people that would step forward in the face of the devil. I had to do me a little circle this hour when I was up at the house, and I was thinking, boy, I'm glad I chose the Lord. Got a little blessed and done me a victory lap around my little room. Glad I chose the Lord, but I'd like to see some people. The devil don't want you to cross that line because an indecision is a decision, but he don't want you to know that. See, the problem is, God is here, but so is the deceiver. And the deceiver works in those pews. He works against you and he works against me. And he wants to occupy your time and say, just wait. Just wait. I'm going to tell you what, just like in the flood, Brother Charlie, like you preached, they waited one day too long. Old song said they began to knocking when the boat began to rocking, but the hand of God would never let them in. Choose tonight. Show the devil who you are, even if you have to come and stand before this altar of God, not looking at me, but knowing God stands before you. And he looks to the congregation and says, come, I want you to choose. Show the devil tonight who you choose. Who you going to serve. Who you going to choose in this hour. Crossing that line that the devil says you ought not to cross. Who's he to command you? God's your God, and there's none before him, and there'll be none after him. There is none other. If you've got a need tonight, I want you to step across that line. Maybe, why don't you step across that line just to tell the devil